Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Wednesday, the 27th of September, 2023. I'll be very honest with you all, a pretty crappy day.
He genuinely sounds so defeated. Like, usually when he's upset, you get a vitriol, you get an anger, but this time, he's just actually defeated.
Today was new release day when it came to a new DLC character in Street Fighter 6 called Aki. She is a poison-using assassin. And last night, before I was going to play with this character all day long today, I studied by watching various streamers for an hour or two each, basically.
This was when he was spotted in Justin Wong's chat at like 2 in the morning. Or maybe it was somebody else's chat. But he was spotted in someone's chat at like 2 in the morning, some professional Street Fighter player. And for a guy who claims that he doesn't want to be in the FGC, why is he doing research and looking shit up in between streams about a new character? You're meaning to tell me he had time to sit there and watch other people play a fighting game, but he couldn't play Mortal Kombat 1 single player content offline? I mean, that just shows you where his priorities are at. He really had no intent of going the extra mile to play Mortal Kombat, but when it comes to Street Fighter 6, absolutely. He'll fucking stay up till way past his bedtime. Sat there drinking gin and studying, as he calls it.
Learning basic strategies and combos. I'm honestly glad I did, because by watching that, I learned some drive rush combos and things that were pretty good and useful that I could use in today's gameplay, and I did absolutely implement that today. Today, we had a fun podcast. It was a bunch of gaming news and things like that. As usual, talked a little bit about what I learned about Aki and about a huge patch coming to Lies of P that apparently is making the game easier.
The way that DSP feels about that update is the same way he feels about the requirements to get into Street Fighter 6 Master Rank, in that he's all for trying to gatekeep these arbitrary game achievements. I remember all those rants he used to go on about how he doesn't care about gaming achievements, that he has a life and that's what really matters, and achievements are only for losers who spend all day on the internet and have nothing to show for it. But in the modern day, it's meaningful to have Master Rank in Street Fighter 6, or to be able to say that you beat Lies of P before they nerfed the bosses. It just seems silly to me to care about nerfs that they made to bosses that you've already beaten, because it has no effect on you.
Similar to how Elden Ring was made easier last year, well, guess what? They're doing that to Lies of P as well, only about a week and a half into its release. So, yeah, a lot of people don't really like that. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. So, basically, we go into Street Fighter today, and, I go into the tutorial for Aki.
Yeah, that's where I tuned out of the stream live, actually. I feel like I've said this 100 times. I cannot stand him going through a tutorial and just being a TTS. It really is some of the worst content he's ever done. I'd go as far as to say that I would rather watch his old camcorder Let's Plays than watch him do TTS tutorials. That might be a hot take, but I mean it.
I played through the tutorial. It takes about 20-25 minutes, go through all her moves, learn the properties and everything. And then we go to her combo trials, all right? And basically, I did pretty good, I think. I cleared all the basic and all of the intermediate, and I got to the advanced. And when you get to the advanced, that's when it's like the ridiculous stuff that's situational, and a lot of that stuff is so high level, you're never going to really use it. You really need to find some bread and butter basics, and I kind of had some of those.
But DSP, I thought you were a former pro fighting game player. Shouldn't you be playing on that higher level? And he says they're situational and you're not going to use them. But why would you refuse to learn and have another tool in your arsenal? Especially when you're actually as bad at a game as DSP is. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad we didn't do those extra tutorials, because like I said, I can't stand the shit. But it's so strange to me that he would say this even after knowing how his gameplay actually went for the day. Because spoiler if you haven't seen it, and I imagine most of you have, but he definitely had 2 bad and salty streams back to back, where he probably would have benefited from doing those extra tutorials at least a little bit.
So I was like, all right, after about an hour of offline play with Aki, I said, let's go to casual matches, let's practice, do some initial gameplay. And admittedly, it was a little slow going in the casual matches as I tried to get my...
I am genuinely surprised he even bothered with casuals. It's such DSP behavior to not play casuals. I really didn't expect him to.
Footing and learn what I was doing, and I played for about an hour there, and I did pretty good, I feel. Like, I felt like I was winning and getting some win streaks and stuff, and I was feeling a little confident. I said, all right, for the 3rd hour of the first stream, let's do the rank. So I did my 10 ranked placements, and I ended up beating a bunch of people. I know they were either platinum or diamond ranked, and I was winning matches against them. And I was like, wow. And in reality, I probably should have won a lot more, but once again, Ken, I always, for some reason, end up fighting a ton of Kens in my placement matches.
I swear to God, dude, Ken is going to be detractor of the year. This dude cannot go 1 fucking second talking about Street Fighter 6 without talking about how broken Ken is and how he's top tier and easy to play and flowchart this. It's just pathetic how much blame he puts on the tier of the character rather than that he just needs to be a better player. And anyone who's ever been in competition knows that you can't blame something for your own shortcomings. Like, you can't just keep doing excuses. You have to just accept that you need to be better at whatever you're competing in. But DSP is so quick to just blame it on everything else. That's why he'll never be good at anything. These infinite excuses that he hides behind are really just a detriment.
Now here's Aki, a character who I'm just learning, and the Kens do their pattern shit, and they jabbing everything, and it seems like Chen's jab literally beats everything she has. It seems like Standing Fierce beats everything she has. Like, wow, like, that's ridiculous. That it seems like all his normals are almost catered to beat every move she has. You have to zone him out. You can't really play him up close because he can beat everything just by mashing buttons, which is really pathetic. They should really fix that. But
so ironic, DSP calling someone else pathetic for mashing. Like, we can't hear his button inputs every once in a while and can clearly tell that it's absolute mash. And that would probably explain all of his dropped or misread inputs. Of course you're not going to get the correct moves when you're constantly smashing on every single button.
I won a lot of my placement matches and ended up getting into Diamond 1. I'm like, what's the highest placement you can get? So that's cool. Let's jump in, all right? And then basically what ended up happening was that for the next 45 minutes, I proceeded to have insane amounts of difficulty playing this game, okay?
Then it sounds like, and follow me on this, it sounds like you got misplaced in your ranking. If your placement matches went well, when they didn't know how you would play it all and were pairing you up against pretty much nobodies and scrubs, right? That's what he said in his Mortal Kombat 1 critique, was that the way that Street Fighter 6 does it is they basically put you up against newbies for your placement matches. But if you were placed and then all of a sudden you're doing poorly, maybe it's because you were placed too high. It's just a thought.
To the point where I got so fed up, because there's been other stuff going on in my personal life as well that's been stressing me out.
And he's throwing that sympathy bait out there, just hoping he can catch somebody with it, hoping somebody takes pity on him. How annoying is it that he constantly brings up now that he's got this weird, mysterious stressor behind the scenes, but refuses to talk about it? Like, I know I only addressed it in the last video and it was only very briefly, but it's so obnoxious he does this multiple times a stream now. It's clearly him fishing for sympathy and it's embarrassing. Either tell us what's going on or quit mentioning it. It's that simple.
I was hoping that playing Street Fighter today would kind of distract me, and it was the most stressful, situation. Like, I couldn't get basic stuff to come out, and I was learning. I knew advanced combos and things I was doing. Jab, 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 fireball, super. One of the easiest things you can do in Street Fighter. I'll get jab, 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 just super, no fireball, so it misses. Jab, 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 fireball, no super. Oh, okay. There was one case, I couldn't believe it. I did a combo, which is 2 kicks, so medium kick, heavy kick, and then you do fireball motion plus 2 punches. The game read that as medium kick, heavy kick, down in 2 punches, and then another punch. Even though I had only pressed the 2 punches once, it read it as a double input and gave me a completely different move. It's like, huh?
If this is such a problem, why do you not hear people all over the internet talking about this in the Street Fighter community? Why is Justin Wong not coming out and saying that the game is constantly misreading his inputs? I keep mentioning Justin Wong, but that's just an example. But I don't see people constantly talking about Street Fighter 6 not reading inputs correctly, which again makes me think that it's DSP. He does not have the execution required to do exactly what he wants to do when he wants to do it.
That was happening all day today. There were some cases where I was just trying to throw a fireball, and Aki would, like, stand and, like, go ding. I'm like, is she trying to parry? Like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm not touching the medium buttons. I'm trying to throw her fireball, which is quarter circle back and jab. Why is she trying to parry? Like, I'm baffled at the kind of stuff that was going on today. There were many times where I was trying to do anti-air and stuff, and it wouldn't come out, or I have the game won. All I need is a basic combo, and I can't get a basic combo to come out to win the match. It's very simple combos into level 3 super with her. And I couldn't get them, and it starts to drive you nuts. It starts to make you feel so frustrated because all you want to do is learn the character. You can't learn if basic moves don't come out.
Dilaphone said in that weird coaching video that he did of DSP Street Fighter 6 gameplay, he said what DSP would really benefit from is going into, like, the lab and doing the same combo again and again until he stops dropping it, until he consistently gets it out with no problems. And it seems like he's still suffering from that. Like, he took some advice from that video, like the parrying nonstop all the time, but didn't take other advice, like that he needs to constantly get his combos out to be any good at all. Because your skill caps very quickly if you can't get basic combos out consistently.
And I was having this problem the last 45 minutes of the first stream and the entirety of tonight's late stream. I came back after a break. I'm like, okay, I'm refreshed. Let's go. About maybe 20 minutes I did good, and then all of a sudden it starts happening again. Now, the thing is, there's a million factors here. It could be me. It could be the joystick. It could be online play. I don't know what it is.
I'm going to pick option 1.
The problem is when I'm doing quarter circle back and light punch, and it looks like my character's trying to parry, I didn't even press those 2 middle buttons. What on earth could cause that? I'm at a loss. Totally at a loss. Down full screen away trying to throw a jab fireball, and it's giving me a parry animation. Maybe my joystick is faulty at this point, which would be pretty fucked up because I spent over $300 for this thing, you know? And it's supposed to be a high-end joystick, and I've used it, what? You know, a month and a half on PS5, and the thing's busted already? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yo, given how hard he beats up that stick when he's angry, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something wrong with it. I mean, I'm sure you guys see him in those rage clips where he's just beating the shit out of the thing. I mean, there's a reason that he has had as many fight sticks as he has over the years. He's clearly very hard on them.
So I honestly don't know, you know? Basically, Aki, she stayed at 1-star diamond all day. Every time that I had momentum and I started getting wins, all of a sudden, momentum would be crushed when I just can't control the character. It won't block. I couldn't block on reaction. I couldn't do drive impact on reaction to anyone else's drive impact. I couldn't complete combos. I couldn't do proper anti-airs. Anything I needed to do to react, I couldn't do. And it kills me because I wanted to do better for you guys, and I feel like it was a disappointment of a day. All day I play this fucking game, trying to get better at it. You know, I want to put out good content for you guys, and it just...
If he's so worried about making good content for us, he shouldn't make it so reliant on him having good gameplay. If he really meant what he said, he would focus on being a more entertaining streamer. That way, even when the games are bad or the gameplay is bad, that he can still entertain the audience that he's cultivated. But he just sort of misses that concept entirely. He's entirely beholden to the gameplay on screen at all times. And most of the gameplay is absolute dog shit. Dude has pretty much never been good at games.
I couldn't do it for some odd reason. I don't know. Again, it could be me. It could be the stick. It could have been the connections. Because it is very weird that every day when it seems like there's a lot of people playing, like every Friday night usually, or a day when there's a new character, all of a sudden it's a busy time. I can't play for shit. But if I play like a daytime stream on a Monday or Tuesday, oh my god, I dominate and everything and I don't drop anything.
I wonder how much of that actually has to do with the connection and more about the volume of players online. And what I mean by that is like that better players are more often online during those peak hours. Because if you're playing like, let's say Call of Duty on a Tuesday morning, like nobody's gonna be on, you know? But if you're playing on a Friday night, you are gonna get an absolute fucking sweat fest. So I wonder if that same thing applies to Street Fighter 6. During peak hours, Friday and Saturday night in the US, that it's an absolute sweat fest and Philly's just not good enough to hang.
Gee, isn't that funny? It's kind of weird, don't you think? That's the case in point. That it seems like different stream days and different times, when it seems like there'd be less people playing, all of a sudden I do way better. Like, what's up with that? So it could be a factor too. I don't know. But the thing is, we'll never have definitive answers. All we can do is try to regroup. All right? So what do we do? Well, I'm off tomorrow. When we come back on Friday, it's going to be Lies of P on the first stream, which I'm excited for. We're going to be starting Chapter 8. The game's been exceptionally good up to now, and I can't wait for Chapter 8. Hopefully it'll be a good, fun one.
I cannot wait for Lies of P to end. I hate watching this dude play Souls-likes. So sick of him. I mean, we did get a pretty good rage segment during one of the streams, but for the most part, it's just boring as sin.
Lies of P supposedly is getting a patch that's going to make it much easier. We'll have to see how those changes are implemented. I'm supposed to have like less carry capacity issues, apparently more stun dealt, more time to stun enemies and stuff like that to make things a little easier. So I guess we'll see. And then on Friday night, we're playing Street Fighter 6 Friday Night Fights, but I honestly don't know what to do. I don't know if I should try Aki again. I don't know if I should throw in the towel with Aki and say, oh, well, let's do Blanca again. But Blanca's master level, and I haven't played Blanca in like a month.
He's absolutely terrified of looking bad in a video game online. The dude who's always gone about how he has a real life and this, that, and the other, and he's got a wife and adult responsibilities, is scared about losing in a video game. Kind of pathetic.
So I'm just going to lose constantly. I'm going to probably forget half the stuff I'm doing with Blanca, right? Do I play with Honda? I don't know. I really don't have answers. I would love to hear your feedback. Please, if you want to leave comments or even, you know, email me, tweet me. Let me know what you want me to do on Friday. As you can tell, I got a headache. I don't feel good after today. Like, when I get a day like today, that's really, really frustrating. That I know I'm learning with the character. I'm getting better. I'm doing giant level 3 console combos and everything. But I can't even win.
I don't think I've ever been so pressed in a video game that I actually got a headache and felt ill from the game. Phil really does take video games way too seriously, man. I can't imagine caring this much about video games. And it's not like I don't play video games. I've been playing video games as long as I can remember. I think the first game I've played was when I was like 4 years old, and I've been playing video games pretty much daily ever since. But I could not imagine caring this much. Even when I would play competitive modes and ranked and all that, like I couldn't imagine being this upset about it.
The other stupid thing about today, no exaggeration, the vast majority of matches were against top tier characters. There were a million Kens, DJs, Cammies, Juries, quite a good amount. Well, I'd say only 2 or 3 JPs. I wish there were more JPs because I wish I could have fought more. And of course, Aki, because everyone's using Aki. That's it. Like, there was no mid to low tier players. They were all top tier characters. And that's for fucking, what, 3.5, 4 hours that I'm playing in rank. That's all it gives me. It won't even give me, like, a chance to learn a matchup against a lower. I think I fought 1 Kimberly, 0 Zangiefs, 0 Dalsims, 0 Lilies, a million Lukes. That's true. A million Lukes, top tier. All the top tier. Apparently, all the top tiers are sitting at 1-star diamond playing pattern play.
And he's so steady with these excuses. Dude, it's part of the game. People are gonna play who they wanna play, and there's nothing you can do about it. These top tier characters are gonna have more people playing them because they're just better characters. We're gonna go back to the first person shooter analogy from literally a couple videos ago at this point. I'm not gonna sit there and be upset and be like, oh, everybody's using the exact same weapon because it's overpowered. Everybody's just taking advantage of it. Like, yeah, they're looking for wins. They're looking to make you have a bad day. Of course they're gonna take advantage of it. And if you're not willing to take that advantage yourself, then you just have to learn to deal with it. If you want to pride yourself on playing with low tier characters, or in my analogy, low tier weapons, dealing with the higher tier comes with the territory. It's part of the grind. It's part of the accomplishment.
So it wasn't even fun. Like, even on top of the fact that I couldn't get moves and shit, it wasn't even fun because it was literally the same fights over and over against the same fucking shitty people doing the same shitty pattern, and it just drives you nuts. So, yeah, I'm really hoping for a reinvigoration when I come back on Friday and doing better, because I really was deflated today. I was hoping that today was going to be a great day of Street Fighter with a new character, and instead it just ended up being a really disappointing day of frustration for me. So
I'm glad this Street Fighter stream went bad for him. After all that shit he talked about Mortal Kombat 1, and then he was saying that every single Street Fighter 6 stream does so well, and he gets a lot of support, and he always has so much fun. I'm glad it went bad for him. He really does deserve it, especially after the way that he's been treating his fans recently.
Let's see what happens on Friday. All right, I hope you all have a great day off tomorrow. You know, I'm going to be, once again, running all the fuck around doing a million fucking things on my one day off. So it ain't going to be, it's probably not going to be a very fun day until after I get all that shit done much later in the day. Maybe I'll finally get to stay home and do some stuff with my wife after I run around and do 4 million errands and appointments and shit that I have. But I'll be back on Friday. All right? All right, everyone. Thank you for being patient with me, really, because I know today was an incredibly frustrating day. It was. I'm so frustrated. I can't wait to just upload and get out of this office and relax with my wife.
And listen to how ungrateful he sounds about the opportunity that he's been given in his life. This guy is a professional video game streamer, and he makes it sound like the worst job in the world. I can't think of a bigger example of looking a gift horse in the mouth. It's just absolutely insane to me, as someone who does actual physical labor for a living. The way this dude can act so miserable when all he does is play video games and talk to people all day long.
And just have a night of, you know, maybe have a drink or something and just try to unwind and forget about how frustratingly annoying today fucking was.
This is a former alcoholic, by the way, having a drink. Not a current alcoholic, a former one, obviously.
And try to come back on Friday refreshed and hopefully a better day. I think it will be too, because I honestly think doing an entire day of Street Fighter like today is just a bad idea at this point. Like, I really feel that way. Like, it was cool back in like June, July, but now like I need breaks. I can't just be playing Street Fighter all day. I got a fucking crazy headache right now because I played it all day and I'm so frustrated. I got pressure in my head from all the stress of trying to play it. It's like, I got to split my days up from now on. Even if it's a new character, I still think I got to split my days up from now on, so I'm not just doing Street Fighter all day because it's too much stress. All right, guys. Enjoy the day off. See you Friday. Have a good day. Peace out. I'll see you Friday for Lies of P. All right? Later.
And that's the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing him in that state as much as I did. Like I said, it's not that often that you get to see DSP actually defeated and deflated. Usually he's got some piss and vinegar left in him. As always, thank you guys for watching. I always appreciate it. I'm currently hitting you with the prayer hands. I know you can't see it, but I always hit you with the prayer hands during this part. Make sure you guys check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that snore tags.